All right, guys. Module 3 is going to be a quick one, but a very important one. This is something during the setup phase, especially for people just starting out, you don't realize how important the right mindset is. Now, if you took the 4-day training, I kind of talk about how like society and the schools kind of program you as a kid, like the world's black and white and it's right and wrong. And then when you're an adult, you find out that there's a lot of gray areas. There's a lot of not everything is right and wrong. So you kind of have to relearn things. Well, um, yes, you do have to like break your own old mentality to kind of succeed and propel forward. But more importantly, is you have to do it every single day. And this is something that it took me a while, especially working from home because you have so much to do. You literally have to give yourself time every single morning to get your mind right. Because if you don't have your mind right, the rest of your day is screwed. And it could be, me personally, I got put in an old depression funk. So the reason why I'm making kind of a big deal about this is because you'll notice like all the successful people that I've talked about in the 2 Comma Club, from the 30 Days book, all of these people, they talk about the same things in starting their day, because that propels everything else forward throughout your day, right? I don't remember who it was, but there was a viral video about this guy. He was a military commander or a high-ranking general. I can't remember, but he was giving a speech, and in that speech, he stated that the most important thing that he does every day was make his bed. It's one of the best values that they teach anybody in the military, because the worst case scenario, you have the worst day in the world, at least you made your bed. One thing went right. So you can actually, you start your day by getting that one thing right, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing. It's one step, right? Sounds weird, right? But it's 100% accurate. Every morning when I get up, I have to like brew my pot of coffee. I have to get my mind right, meditate, focus, read something, right? I have a mission statement that I read every single day, both my business and my personal mission statement on how I'm going to be toward the world. And I'm not kidding when I tell you that days that I've skipped that, I'll like fight with people. I get in arguments. I don't know why, but for some reason, if my mind's not right, I'm more irritable throughout the day. Does that make sense? So it's a big deal because that goes into play with the tasks that you're supposed to do, right? It's the start to the finish. So I'm putting a motivational video below. It's Earl Nightingale. He gets a little bit religious, and I'm sorry if you're not religious. You can just ignore that part. It's at the very end. It's not really that big of a deal. He talks about the Sermon on the Mount. But I adapted his philosophy, and it's pretty much writing a 30-day card. So every 30 days, this is what I do. Okay, every 30 days, I make a new micro goal and macro goal. And you can do this. Feel free to take my advice and use my techniques. But I also mix it with stuff I learned from the One Funnel Away Challenge and Earl Nightingale's. And it's funny because you start to see like everybody refers to it as a 30 days, like 30-day intervals, right? So what I do is I make my micro goal, and a micro goal, or excuse me, first I make my macro goal every 90 days. My current one right now, or every 30 days. My current one right now is that I want to have 100 signups to this course. That's my macro goal, 100 signups. That's a lot, right? Because that's a lot to get in 1 month in 30 days, but it's very possible when you shrink it down and you divide it and find out how many you have to do per day to get that, right? So obviously, if I can get just a few a day, I'm coming closer to my macro goal. So you shrink it down and it ends up becoming a micro goal, right? And if you can make that micro goal happen, you can make the macro goal happen. Small, large, right? And it all starts with making your bed in the morning. If you can do the first thing right, you can do everything else right throughout the day. Does it make sense? It's pretty cool. And then, so what Earl Nightingale suggests in his video is making a little card to read every day. So I have my mission statement, my personal one and my business one, and then I have my card that I carry around with me in my wallet. I usually put it on an index card, and then I wrap it in tape so it doesn't get destroyed throughout the month. And it has like a motivational thing. It's got my micro goal and my macro goal, and it's got a motivational statement. So after I read my mission statement every day, I read my card. This is my morning routine, right? Because I know what my goals are. I know what I'm set out to do. And I'm not kidding when I tell you that so much more gets done. Okay, because you're no longer distracted, you can focus, you have a goal. And plus it's easier to like push the stuff that's not important. You know what I mean? Push that stuff to the side because it's really easy to get distracted when you're not focused, right? If you just wake up and you're just like a random, I'm just going to go live the day, everything's getting your attention. You're getting pulled every which way. But when you wake up and you have that card, you know, you're focused. And you're like, that's not going toward my goal. I can put that off to the side. I don't need to do that right now. So it's something to think about. I love the Earl Nightingale video. It's a long one, but it's definitely worth the watch. All right? Okay, guys.